So we were riding. I think we were actually just like walking our bikes, because not all of us had bikes. So we're like walking down the road, and right on Concord, right where that little like triangle is, where like the road leads to Spaslin Park.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, the squad car just pulls up, just slams on the brakes, hops out, and just like yells like, "Get on the ground!" And like the four of us, like we stop and we like look around. We're like, "What?" He's like, "Get off your bikes and get on the ground." We're like, all right. So we jump off our bikes, we get on the ground. He's like, "Put your hands in your head." And like we get down, we have our hands on our head, and we're like, "What the heck is going on?" And we hear this dog, the canine, just barking like crazy in the squad car. The officer has his hand on his gun, like he's ready to draw on us. Hey guys, and welcome back to another 0.5 episode of the Campfire Council podcast. Thanks for being here. Today on the pod, we have Wes, Brandon, Trilo, Noah, Joey's, and once again, joining us, we have our good friend and guest, Marques. Welcome back.
Woo. Made a 0.5.
Made a 0.5. He made it. He made it.
We're at 9:46 here. So
Marques, this is the point of the show where you just get to nerd out.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
We lucked out because you're a Lord of the Rings and Star Wars fan. So I know we were talking a little bit the other night about some just Star Wars stuff. That I was like, this is gonna be some good talk for the podcast. So
Either that or you'll run me out of here.
maybe. Yeah, let's get into it. So where did we leave off with our conversation?
I don't remember. I just remember we started talking about episode 1, 2, and 3, and then you were like, "Oh, wait a minute, let's save that."
You said, here we go. You said you can't even go back and watch episode 1, right?
Two is the primary one.
2 is the primary?
1, I will just go to all Darth Maul scenes.
Yes.
Like literally. I could just go to YouTube for that.
Yeah.
I own the movie, but I could just go to YouTube for that. 2, yeah, man, 2's a hard one for me. It's a hard one for me because it's like, I have all these like theories. What I don't like about movies is if they have to depend on a gimmick for the thing to be like the thing, like they've lost me. So like for instance, Avengers, the first time I saw it, I love the first Avengers movie, just to be clear, but the first time I saw it, immediately when Hulk grabbed Loki, like they lost me. Like it was funny the first time, but I knew the second time I saw it, the third time I saw it, the fourth time, like that was going to be washed for me. When Yoda pulled out the lightsaber, man, I immediately, like, it was cool the first time, but I was like, you lost me.
that's wild.
Man.
Go to this guy right here.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I remember he said it. But, like, again, it's cool, but I'm just saying, man, like, it's just not as potent anymore. Where I will say, episode 3, like, that fight is iconic, right? Like it's just as potent when you go back to it now, where I don't know if you can say episode 2, that fight. I don't know.
Are you talking about the Yoda versus Palpatine fight in episode 3 or the
Obi-Wan
versus
Anakin versus Obi-Wan?
I'm good. I'm even good with Yoda and Palpatine, but I'm saying I'm talking more Anakin and Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Where I'm saying in 2, the Dooku Yoda fight.
That's tough.
I can't.
I enjoy that. I don't
But
know.
the thing is, I also was a little kid when I watched it, and it was like
It's a core
It was
memory.
like the first action movie that I saw, like first violent movie of any kind that I watched as a kid. So it did make like a big impact on me, and I kind of like I look at all fight scenes now like through that lens.
Through that lens, okay.
So I can understand. I did have this discussion with one of my friends, and he's like, "That's not that. It ruined Yoda because Yoda was like all about the Force, and he wasn't supposed to like, you know, be jumping around." I guess that the idea before the prequels was that Yoda was this Jedi that was much more focused on like using the Force.
Yes.
And to see him like flipping around with the lightsaber is kind of jarring because people didn't have that expectation.
Yeah. I'm not there. I don't mind that he flipped.
Okay.
And I think that actually
We're okay with the flip.
but I mean that actually
Flip is good.
I mean again, I'm not like a Star Wars nerd. Like I haven't read all the books. Like I would love one day to read the Thrawn series, all of that. I haven't read all the books and all that.
Yeah.
But just like the basic lore of the Force is actually supposed to help them fight. Like the people who are stronger
and jump.
Right.
Yeah, the people who are stronger with the Force, Mace Windu, Anakin, Obi-Wan,
Right.
they're the better fighters,
Right.
and Yoda. So I'm all good with that. But I'm saying how they did it, like it was so spectacular. Like it was just way too spectacular.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Like the fact that he was just like flipping everywhere.
Yeah.
I was like, if they would have toned it down
It's too much.
Couple flips.
just
Yeah.
a little
Stop
bit.
the
Okay.
flips.
Too many flips.
Yeah, because now when it comes on, like that's my. Do you guys ever watch the Rewatchables podcast?
No.
So it's a Bill Simmons. Again, this is probably an old guy thing. I would invite you to check it out. Find a movie that you like, and they rewatch movies that are rewatchable. And they have categories at the end of the pod for like a place to take a pee break or
Nice.
mic drop moment in the movie. That's my pee break moment.
Okay.
In episode
Really?
Dang.
I would rather watch sand. It's uncomfortable. It gets
I was gonna
Wow.
say that's
everywhere.
my pee break one. Where I'm like, this is just weird. I don't get it.
So are you more of like an original trilogy then? Would you
You
say?
know what? I was thinking about this the other day. I will see. Here's the problem. I feel like the last 5 years have ruined movies for me. Period.
I'll agree with you on that.
So I've come to this new place where I would have said to you maybe a year ago that episode 4, 5, and 6 are just better movies overall, and I do think that they are better acted and better movies, like as a movie goes. But I would say that 1, 2, and 3, and even the new ones are just more entertaining. Like I was watching Empire with my son because like Empire is still an awesome movie.
Yeah.
But dude, it's so slow. It is so slow.
Very different. Yeah.
Like I even watched Dark Knight with my daughter. Because my daughter's a Marvel. She's a Marvel head, and she refuses to watch Batman movies. I'm like,
Batman's good though.
I was like,
Dark
you
Knight,
have to watch Dark Knight. I'm like, it's like
do.
one of the best movies.
One of the best
The
movies.
Dark Knight is my number one movie.
I watched it with her though. It is so slow. Like it actually,
Really?
it
Wow.
actually,
There's a lot
like,
of build up though. Like,
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not an entertaining movie.
I'm
I guess
entertained.
if
I'm
that
super entertained.
No, I love the movie, but I'm just saying it's not something you can just like show somebody and they're just gonna get hyped just off of the movie. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense.
Depends on the person though.
But where I feel like any action movie fan, okay, I'm just saying this right now to the camera. I hate episode 1. Hate it. Any action movie fan, you turn on that and you get to Darth Maul, everybody's in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody's in,
Yep.
hands down.
Yeah.
And so I actually think the best Star Wars now is Mandalorian season 1 and 2.
They are
Really?
good seasons.
And my kids are kind of the litmus test to this. Like when they're, I guess they've always grown up with episode 1, 2, and 3. But my kids always liked 4, 5, and 6, even with episode 1, 2, and 3. And I never said anything to them. I just showed them the movies, and I wasn't giving them commentary on it. And then when the new movies came out, my son was like, this is like prime Star Wars age. Like he was in the Stormtroopers, the whole 9. And he would go to the movies, and the only one he's seen multiple times is Force Awakens.
Yeah.
And he just doesn't care about the other ones. Like
I like your son already.
yeah, like and so I mean to me that was kind of the litmus test. Or like we're sitting down watching, was it the end of season 2 of Mandalorian? My kids have never been so excited. Like they're like, "Dad, is that going to be Luke Skywalker?"
Yeah.
Dude, I literally cried because my kids were happy about Luke Skywalker. I'm like, oh, this is beautiful. Like, so I guess what I'm saying is like the litmus test for me is my kids, when they're not entertained by it and it's just fan service or just trying to get me to have the feels, like that just doesn't hit me. It just doesn't hit me, man.
Okay.
But what? So that that scene of Luke Skywalker comes from the best scene
Oh.
in Rogue One. It is the best,
Oh, yeah.
I think, Star Wars scene when Vader is walking down,
Oh.
entering the ship.
Yes.
I think that's my favorite Star Wars scene.
When he's
It's-
on the Tantive 4 and it's
Yeah.
dude, it's so
That is pretty sweet.
And I know it's a remake. It's a remake from the original, but that scene, I thought they just did a fantastic job.
What about Clone Wars though?
Oof.
The last season,
yeah.
Darth Maul.
Season
When
7.
he's doing, yeah. Okay. That's, I mean,
Ahsoka.
that's
As far as movies goes, that's Rogue
yeah,
One is my
movies.
favorite.
Yeah, I'd say Episode 3 and Rogue One are my top movies
Huh.
for Star Wars. Yeah,
Episode 3, the end. I feel like that's, even though the movie pains me, that end scene, like that's just iconic. Like
yeah.
I'm with you.
Anakin, Obi-Wan, like you can't beat that. But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, man, dude, my whole disappointment with Episode 3 is just like, I wanted Rogue One with Episode 3. Like, as someone that grew up with Star Wars, grew up with the, fighting,
A New Hope.
I want
Right.
like how they portrayed Vader in Rogue One is how I feel like he should have been in Episode 3. And I just don't feel like they hit that. And I also feel like that movie, again, whatever, these people are way more talented than I am. I feel like half of that movie should have been actually him as Vader. Like,
That would've
dude,
been pretty
he's the
cool.
best, he's the most iconic villain ever. And like the movie should have been more about like Vader, not Anakin. To get to see him doing his thing, like, yeah, I don't know, man. I was so disappointed when that movie ended.
Dang.
So disappointed. I mean, the last scene's like,
Yeah.
yeah, you can't beat it. But yeah, these are my hot takes.
I was about to say that's
What
real
was
hot
your
take.
opinion? Did you watch Kenobi?
Yes.
Okay. What is your opinion on the fight scene between Obi-Wan and Vader at the end where you see Anakin like coming through the helmet and
I
then,
love that.
It is really cool.
Again, like that's a Hulk moment. We'll just call it Hulk
Okay.
moments, right?
Okay.
Really cool moment. Great screen grab.
Yep.
Great thing to watch on YouTube. But I'm not watching the whole episode to get to that.
Yep.
I'm just not.
I am.
Does it
I'll say it.
does it bug you at all that it kind of interferes with like the lore? So what I mean by this is when Obi-Wan and Darth Vader meet again on the Death Star, and Darth Vader is like, I haven't sensed that presence since, and he pauses. Everybody thought that meant, once Episode 3 came out, everybody thought that meant Mustafar.
Yeah.
That everybody thought that. No one ever thought, oh, I bet they met, in a time in between. So I'm with you. When in Kenobi, the show, they fight, it was very cool. And I like the use of, their lighting where like one side of his
red and
face
the
is blue and then it turns red or whatever. Like, I think cinematically it was very cool. But after I watched it and was kind of over it, it absolutely destroyed the lore for me because I'm like, this takes away everything. And also like Darth Vader throwing like boulders. I was like, what is this right now?
The
Like,
power scaling issue.
it's just,
Like-
dude, it's just,
You and I need to just go get coffee and talk about it. We got to talk about this, man. Because actually, that's the one thing that I wish they would do differently.
Okay.
Like, the thing I was actually excited about, so was that Last Jedi that ended with Rey lifting the boulders?
Yeah.
Yeah, Last Jedi.
Yes,
At
yes.
Because the little
when they're
fox.
escaping.
I
Tried
actually
to delete it from my memory.
yeah, we're trying to get over that one.
I actually feel like where they went wrong is they actually needed to, like, with showing these younger, powerful Jedis, that they didn't turn it up enough. Like, I actually think they should have did more like the Force Unleash. Like,
Oh.
Dang, wow.
like
Really turn it up.
Interesting.
well, they did it with Rey already, right? Like, she shot lightning bolts out of her hand and destroyed a
Yeah.
ship.
Yeah, we don't typically talk about Ray on this podcast, but,
we
but
don't
yes,
say that
okay.
in here.
We'll hear you out.
But I guess what I'm saying is, like, I was willing to ride with it because if, whatever, the whole diet thing, whatever. But I'm just saying, like, if she really had that high M count and she had these powers, but she had never been trained how to use them, isn't that what you would get, right? Like, you don't know how powerful you are. You don't know what you're tapping into.
It's all or nothing type of deal.
Yeah, you don't know what you're tapping into. So I felt like that would have been cool. Like, again, them retconning it, that's what was like irritating.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess I actually don't care.
So it's not the lore that bugs you.
I don't care about the
Okay.
lore. I just care that it seems like they're trying so hard. They're trying so hard to appease different people.
Yeah.
Instead of just making a good story.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's something I think everybody can agree on here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they could have made a good show without Darth Vader and Kenobi meeting.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
100%.
there's so much stuff.
Yeah, there's so much they could have done.
You
but-
could have done again just stuff with the Inquisitors.
Or Kenobi meeting Leia, like
Yeah.
as like a child, like that was I don't know. It was just that bugged me too.
The fact that she outrun all
That
those
scene was
three
hard
dudes,
to watch.
That was so
Oh.
bad. That was so bad on Alderaan when she's about to get kidnapped. Like when she's running away from dude, that
She's
was
running
so
like
bad.
2 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I would have
Like-
literally just went.
Oh, dog, she was
like-
booking it.
Like
Leia does know who Obi-Wan is in A New Hope.
I know.
She sends that message.
I know.
yeah.
but
she-
like
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's not that bad.
I think I have a problem.
Yeah.
I don't have to go into
Yeah,
this
yeah.
whole thing, but my thing is like Obi-Wan was supposed to be watching Luke, and like that was his mission. Like for all those years he was watching him, and like I just never really thought that, you know, he would have met Leia or something. And like
Yeah,
maybe that's just a personal thing, but like I don't know. Whatever. Just
Yeah, it's
but,
hard, man. They're trying to do too much.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
and I think at least what the Clone Wars proved to me, the show, is that with the right people at the helm, they can like tell these like
Speak.
great stories. I just think now movies now, like the movie industry, it's just hard to make a movie now because they're trying to tap everybody, and you can't tell the story of Darth Maul. Wait, some of the people haven't seen. Okay, I forgot. I was trying to remember.
That's fine.
Okay, but like you can't tell that story in a movie format to make a big budget movie. Like it would make a lot of money. Actually, is the ironic
Yeah.
part.
Yeah.
But you can't tell it in like the classic Hollywood big budget movie way because it would just be too grimy.
Yeah.
I agree.
Especially with Disney with their little paws on there, they'll probably ruin that.
Yeah.
But that's one of the issues with Mandalorian, though. Like, I think the original intention for Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau was not to have Grogu like immediately come back to Mando.
Yeah.
But then I think Kathleen Kennedy or somebody got their hands in the story and like changed it. So like I think is it season 3 where he's like
Yeah.
he like chooses to come back right away.
That's in Book of Boba Fett, I think.
Oh, Book of
right?
Boba Fett.
And then so people were
So
arguing
it like
about
totally
that.
changed the trajectory for Mandalorian. And that stuff ruins it for me. Like just let the people that have the story figured out, let them just make the show.
Yeah.
Don't change it.
Well, also, Book of Boba Fett was supposed to be about Boba Fett, and half of it isn't.
One
The sad
thing-
part is the best part about that show, in my opinion, was Mandalorian.
I know.
Dude, okay. So what upset me in the Book of
no,
Boba
you're good.
Fett
Let him
was
cook.
that gang of kids.
On the
Oh, the motorbike
the
gang?
bikes.
Oh,
Yes,
that
the-
was
the
so
dude.
bad.
That was the best part.
I don't even remember this.
Dude, I saw it and I was like, you have to be kidding me.
They
Why
go
would
so slow.
first? Okay, you're on Tatooine, right?
At least pod racing was fast.
Yeah.
Like you're on like a
At least when you
criminal-filled desert planet, and you have these kids that are like have these tech upgrades. Oh, and they have like
pains
these
you, man.
these perfectly shined bikes, and like you couldn't have had like some like badass droid or like some assassin droid or some like criminal like join them. That was I don't know.
That pains you, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I get it. It's hard when you've got that big of empire, but like it's almost like they don't actually know what the fans like. So you guys are probably too young for this, but anyone my age, best Star Wars video game ever, Knights of the Old Republic.
Oh,
Oh,
so
we know about
good.
that.
Like the
good.
fact that they have not remade that game, made a movie in that series, like that shows you like that they don't get it.
Well, the cutscenes they have for that.
Mm-hmm.
It's some of the best Star Wars.
No,
Trailers.
you're talking about a different game. I think you're talking about just the old.
You're talking about the
Oh,
old.
the
Yeah,
Old
the Old
Republic.
Republic,
Okay.
yeah.
So the
Okay,
Knights of the Old Republic was like an RPG that came
Yeah.
out on
Yeah.
Xbox when Xbox first launched or whatever, and then they made a second one, Knights of the Old Republic 2, and it's with Revan, and it's like a great story. It's almost like Empire Strikes Back, like when you get to the end of the game and you're surprised. But like the fact that they haven't done anything with that, the fact that they couldn't figure it out with, now I forgot the name of the show.
Acolyte.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like the fact that
So
they're
bad
forgettable
show.
is a problem, right? Like the fact that we're like, what was the name of that show? Oh yeah, the Acolyte.
Oh, that
They
one.
okay. They did have some really good fight scenes though in
One.
One good fight scene.
One good fight.
episode 5 when the Sith like revealed himself and he was just popping off and just taking out. I think that was done really well. I like that.
Yeah.
There was just a lot of things too that once again they had
Milo?
such a big opportunity.
cope. I like the fight scenes too, dude. But it's a little cope because the whole show was bad.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah.
I didn't even finish it.
So what
I
did
didn't even
you
watch
think about
it.
Ahsoka?
Ahsoka's okay. I give it like a
It's good. Dog.
7.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
7 out of
See, I'll
10.
agree with you.
Yeah.
The whole, if you take the whole show, it's a
Yeah.
7. Just with the flashback of Clone Wars,
Oh,
10.
dude.
Like that. Well, 9.
Yeah,
I'm not
if it
gonna
was
say
just
10,
that.
but 9 with just that.
But
yeah,
even then, like the fight scenes are just so slow. Like
Ahsoka versus Darth Vader.
No, I don't know about that one, but like Ahsoka, when at the end when they're like fighting the Thrawn soldiers or whatever.
Oh, I didn't even watch it that
like,
part.
like the
super slow.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
the
you sent me that
choreography-
video. Yeah, the
choreography's
choreography is
just
terrible.
bad.
yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even get to that.
I did like from that show. I did like Balin Skull.
He was a
Who's
great dude. R.I.P.
The Sith dude.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, he was good. Like he
Great
was
actor.
so like mysterious. I'm
Rest
like,
in peace.
where are you lining with certain things? And it's like he was good.
He was a great character.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be recasting him.
Yeah,
Yeah, 'cause he
someone
passed
Please
away.
do good.
Yeah.
from Game of Thrones. He played whoever played the dog,
The the Hound.
The
the Hound,
Hound?
the Hound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sandor
Look at that
Clegane.
dog in him.
Yeah. I'm curious. I don't know.
Yeah.
I hope he does a good job.
He's my favorite character in that show.
Actually, here we go. I'm excited for
He's
this.
the best quotes.
Joyce and I were talking about this. Season 2 of Ahsoka is supposedly in the making, and I heard that Hayden Christensen, Ewan McGregor, and the actress who played the young Ahsoka are supposed to be in more flashback scenes during the Clone Wars. And I really, really
He's wearing
How
the
about-
Clone Army?
just make a show about the flashbacks.
yeah.
Either redo Clone Wars like scenes or like go back into Clone Wars. I don't really care about the rest of Ahsoka. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not a probably not a big fan. Quite frankly. Yeah.
If I can get at least one scene with all three of them and Rex,
I'll
we
just
need it,
watch
Rex
that
and,
one
and
scene.
give me Cody too. Throw in a bonus
Dude,
Cody.
I love Commander Cody.
I'm such a
That's
hyper
all I
skeptic
want.
of
That's all I want. I want to see it.
or
Just give me something.
not skeptic.
Give it to me.
Yeah, I think they just need to get new material now. They just got to move off of it.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you're like really into right now as far as like media or like shows? Is it just Star Wars right now?
Actually, I just was telling someone the other day, my wife and I are so strange. We don't watch.
So are we. We're very strange.
So like, I don't watch. Like, if I turn on the television, I'm not watching TV shows. I'm usually watching a movie or watching sports.
Same here.
Like that's it. And so I really don't watch TV shows or anything. But my wife and I, for whatever reason, love 24. So like over the
That's a
course
throwback.
over the
show.
course of our marriage, we have gone back and watched all 8 seasons, like maybe twice.
That's with Jack Bauer, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
and we're right now going back through it, and we're on season 2 of 24. So yeah, that's probably it. Mostly it's just whatever my kids are like into, just so I can like connect with them or whatever. Which my son is like Fortnite, and I can't.
Skibbity.
I can't do that. I can't do it. I used to play Fortnite when
Pretty much.
with him when they had the Marvel thing and
Yeah.
they had the Iron
Yeah,
Man.
yeah,
That was
Thanos
fun.
and everything.
But yeah, now he's like, dude, he's obsessed with Fortnite.
Yeah.
That and Minecraft, and yeah,
Marcus, we're gonna have to get a game going sometime.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm
Dust
just. I
off the
realize I'm
controller.
getting old now. I'm getting old.
Can't keep up.
The
with
other day they were
you guys.
playing Minecraft, and I literally was like a grandpa. I was like, could you stop moving so fast? Like you're making me sick. Like what they were going through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My getting old moment was my cousin Lincoln was like playing Minecraft on his iPad or something like that, and he's like, "You played Minecraft before?" or something like that, super high pitched voice. I'm like, dude, I was playing Minecraft before you were even born. You were born in 2011, dude. I was like playing in like 2010 when it came out.
Yeah, that's wild.
That's hilarious.
You introduced me to that game at the
Yeah.
Wisconsin Dells, dude. I was
Yeah.
like, whoa,
Yeah.
this is so cool.
That was.
And it's cool that
around time.
Kuya Milo was playing it too.
Yeah, I probably brought my laptop.
Yep.
Yep.
It was good stuff. Yeah.
So what games are you guys into right now?
You ever hear of Balloons Tower Defense 5? I'm not a big video game guy. But.
Me and Wes play a lot of Call of Duty together.
A lot of Warzone.
A lot of Warzone.
All right.
And then a lot of it I just play whatever someone else is playing. So like I play Helldivers with Milo, like I play Fortnite with these hooligans as well. So it's like I usually play what everybody else is kind of playing.
All right.
Like the big name stuff. So
I'm replaying Jedi Survivor,
Ooh.
which is the second game after Fallen Order.
Yes.
So I've been really into. I actually haven't played for a couple of weeks, but I'm gonna be back on the grind. It's like prime gaming weather. I like playing a campaign game just to beat it, and I like going back to get 100%. There's something so satisfying about that.
Yeah.
I love it. And the storyline actually with the game is really, really well. And
With
they're
Jedi
actually
Survivor?
yes,
Okay.
Fallen Order and Survivor. So Cal Kestis is the main character.
Yeah.
He actually survives. He's actually lore now. He survives Order 66, and it's just like his journey when the Inquisitors are trying to hunt him down, and he encounters Vader and all that stuff. They're actually, I think, they talked about having some kind of project with him as a live action because he's what's his name, the actor? He's from Shameless.
Yeah, I only know
orange
his
hair.
name
Yeah.
from Shameless.
Okay, but he's the actor who plays the character. They're talking about actually having a project with him, which would be pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which would be something new.
That first game was pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just live vicariously through my kids. Like I was telling you guys earlier about we have a Nintendo 64, and the kids are like literally just razzing me about the game and how bad it looked. And then I was like, all right, Caden, I was like, I want you to play this game, like, but you have to play it for like at least 10 minutes. And so I put the game in, I turn it on, he starts playing it, and I come back like an hour later and he's still playing it.
What game was it?
Ocarina of Time.
Oh, classic.
And so he
That's
played that
awesome.
one.
That is so sick.
he is into Zelda now.
I
So
love
he has
it.
a
Oh, it's
Switch.
Zelda?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I've played. Yeah, okay.
Oh, I mean, it's like the OG Zelda. Oh, well, not the OG Zelda, but
From Nintendo 64?
Nintendo 64.
I think I played that.
So
Yeah.
he played that first. Then on Nintendo on Switch you can get the emulator or whatever, and then he went back and played the original Zelda. And then he literally, and I'm like, dude, this is so unfair. I'm like, do you know how many hours? Like, I had to literally leave my Nintendo on
Yep.
in order
Yeah.
to
Turn
get
off the
it.
TV
And-
screen.
And he's just like saving, and then like when a boss beats him or whatever, he just reloads the game. And
Yeah,
keeps
yeah.
going.
Yep,
So like
yep.
he beat all these Zelda games in like a month or whatever. So he played all the NES ones. He did not like Majora's Mask. And then he has on his Switch he got Breath of the Wild and what's the other one? Tears of the Kingdom.
Tears of the Kingdom is so good.
Yeah, and he's like, Dad, you need to play these because I haven't played those games.
Yeah.
I was
Dang.
like, you need to play these. I played Ocarina of Time. Now you need to play these.
That tells you so much about how good those games are, that even with the low level graphics, they're still fun.
Yes. Yeah, they're pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking maybe when I have kids, I just won't tell them about the new consoles,
There you
and I'll just get them like an N64 or something like
Right.
that, so they think that's like peak, and then they can figure it out like later on. what exists.
What is this magic?
Yeah, right.
What a sick joke, Milo.
Hey, wouldn't that be sick though?
It would be cool, actually.
Like
'cause
we
then-
got to experience the progression.
Yeah, we did.
But kids in the future won't.
Yeah. We definitely grew up in a cool time period because we grew up with video games, but we still went outside and played a lot. Like,
Oh, yeah.
like we didn't have iPhones at 10 years old,
Mm-hmm.
so we still got to like play these OG video games but also get to see the development over time.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like when the Wii came out, the Wii was huge.
Yeah.
dude, it was the
Oh, yeah.
coolest thing ever.
The Wii craze was so hard to
Wii
get a Wii.
tanks, dude.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
Tanks
Wii
is
Tanks
amazing.
is
so fun.
That's a great
That was
game.
my favorite.
Yeah, but I mean, like you said, Joey, we would. I mean, the three of us, you, Wes, and I we'd ride around on bikes all day.
Mhm.
We'd go outside, we'd hang out, and then when it got dark in the summer, we'd game till 2-3 in the morning.
Right, we're playing Nazi zombies.
Which I think was a really good
Hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Hours
would
of Nazi
hours.
zombies.
Which was a good mix though, because you're outside, you're in the sun, you're actually like being a kid. But then when it's dark and you can't be outside, we'd game. Keep us out of trouble
Mhm.
for the most part.
Yeah, it's a lot different now.
Keeps us off the roof of the church.
Yeah. Oh, did you hear about this story?
I don't know if I've heard this. Now
Oh,
I
let's
need to
get
hear.
into this. Have you guys heard about this story? I think you have.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes,
I'll make it quick. So
It's incriminating.
years ago,
It came up on my timeline. That's why.
Joyce West and
Right.
Joyce West and I would not go into the church and
Nope.
have candy from the kids ministry section. That's something we would not do.
I would never do that.
uh, but anyways, so on occasion we'd like go and hang out at Spaslin Park. Where,
Yeah.
I don't know, we were like 12, 13,
Mm-hmm.
something like that. We'd ride our bikes around. We'd grab a snack, grab some candy, go back to the park. And one time we had another friend and we decided to go hang out by the old barn. And I think we were like, the door was open or something and we were trying to get in. Somehow we kind of like nudged it open, right?
Yeah.
So we're inside the barn. We weren't doing anything like bad. We're just like looking around and we get up on top of the barn roof. And we're hanging out. And at the time, I think we just had like pocket knives. And we're playing with the pocket knives like, young 12, 13-year-old boys do. And after some time, we get down and we decide to head back to our friend's house who lived not too far from church. So we were riding, I think we were actually just like walking our bikes because not all of us had bikes. So we're like walking down the road and right on Concord, right where that little like triangle is where like the road leads to Spaslin Park.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden the squad car just pulls up, just slams on the brakes, hops out and just like yells like, "Get on the ground." And like the four of us, like we stop and we like look around. We're like, "What?" He's like, "Get off your bikes and get on the ground." We're like, all right. So we jump off our bikes. We get on the ground. He's like, "Put your hands in your head." And like we get down. We have our hands in our head. And we're like, "What the heck is going on?" And we hear this dog, the canine, just barking like crazy in the squad car. The officer has his hand on his gun, like he's ready to draw on us.
Yeah.
And he's just like screaming at us. He's like, "We got a call that you guys were breaking into the church. Like you're armed and dangerous. Like all these things." And we're like, "What the heck?"
Armed and dangerous.
He's screaming at us. The dude's like, "You guys are lucky you were in the church. If you were in there, I would have sent the dog on you, and one of you guys would have been in the hospital." And we're like, "Holy crap!" Like we're like 12-year-olds or
I didn't hear
13.
the story. Never mind. Wow.
And we're like, "What's it going?" So like this is going on for a little bit, and we're trying to explain like, we were just in the, like one of our friends at the time had his dad who was on staff at Crossway. Like that's why we kind of like had access to the church, whatever, right? And he's trying to explain. He's like, "If you listen, we can explain to you." And he's like, he's yelling at us. He didn't believe us. And finally, after some time, I think I got put in handcuffs because I had like my pocket knife on me.
Yeah.
You got taken.
Well, yeah,
It's a-
he was patting me down. I'm like, I have a knife in my pocket. And then he pulls it out and, puts me in handcuffs, throws me in the car. And as this is happening, I'm watching Wes just on the ground picking the grass.
Yeah, dude, Wes is just
He's just bored.
What else are you doing?
He's so bored. And then he got taken.
I got zip tied because you're not a handcuff.
Right. And so Wes and I are in the back of the squad car, and Wes just looks at me and goes, "That's a pretty cool gun, though."
Wes is not concerned at all.
AR in the back of the car. Like,
So-
that's kind of cool.
So all the neighbors come outside too. I mean, not all, but there's some neighbors like looking at us, and I think someone drove by from church. Like, "Are you guys okay?" We're just like, "Yeah, I think so."
It's so embarrassing.
So we had to call our parents. I think my mom showed up. Pastor Jason
Everyone's parents
ended up
showed
showing
except
up.
for Wes and I.
And
That's why we got taken.
We got taken to the cop.
I was in
Shut.
handcuffs, and my parents came and they had to pick me up in my bike.
Oh.
One of the other our friend's dad came at the time, and he had to like explain to the officer, like, "Yeah, I'm on staff at the church and everything, and like, the boys weren't trying to whatever." He helped explain, and Pastor Jason showed up, and I remember afterwards, he was, I don't know if it was just me or like all of us. He comes up, he's like, well, boys, he's like, well, maybe next time, maybe not go on the barn roof and something along those lines. He's like, you know what? I get it. I have 4 boys. He's like, just maybe don't do something like that next time. We're like, we got it.
We understand now.
So were you were on the outside, like the exterior on the
At
roof?
first,
or
we
you
were
like,
in the
loft?
barn. I don't know if there was we were just on like just walking around on the floor, like the
We
ground.
were on
You're
top
talking about
of the
that
barn.
big. You're
Yes.
talking about the big barn.
Yeah.
Correct.
Because
'cause
there's a
then-
loft up there.
No, we were on the roof.
You were actually on the
Yeah,
roof.
so we got into the door
Really
originally.
stupid.
Then we
Old
got up
barn.
on top and we're just hanging out. And it was the neighbors. Apparently, it was the neighbors right there.
They must have been really irritated with you
Yeah,
guys.
Right.
And like, yes, we shouldn't have been in there, but we weren't doing anything. Like, we weren't breaking anything. We just like opened the door, just being curious.
But
up
like
there.
kids on the roof is different than armed and dangerous.
But that's the thing is they got the call saying there's teenagers breaking into the church that are armed and dangerous. And we almost had, a gun drawn on us. Which
even
is
that
crazy.
even
dog
that
on us.
sentence doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Like they're breaking into the church. They're still in communion.
No.
All right. Give me those
They're
crackers.
taking the Bibles.
So that was I mean, it's a funny story to tell. Like and I'm just glad like no one got hurt. It was mind blowing at the time. Like, what the heck is going on?
I didn't know it was
We're
like
so
that in the streets of
confused.
GT, man.
Yeah, man, it goes down. It
Yeah,
goes
I
down
know it's
crazy.
like that.
So watch out for watch out for them teenagers on the barn roof. That's that's our story there.
Well, like you said, times have changed now. Now we have to look out for other things.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's very true.
That is hilarious, though. So wait, were your guys' parents upset?
Oh yeah. Well,
I
more
think
scared.
they were upset at actually. Your mom was pissed that you were at the.
Well, yeah, my mom comes, she goes to the police station because Wes and I both had to go there. She opens the door, she goes, "Where's my baby?" She just sprints around. And then it all got settled because they finally got in
I think
contact.
my parents were pretty understanding. They're just like, well, kind of like a learning moment, but I think they were pretty upset. That officer was not the nicest of officers.
I had to receive counseling sessions though, like mandatory from the police station counseling sessions, which was just me hanging out with the youth pastor. So that was cool.
There you go.
Yeah. He's like,
Was it
"Dude,
Zach
this is-"
Petrini at the
yeah,
time?
He's like, dude,
Yeah.
this is dumb. He's like, let's just hang out. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. We weren't like. I think we weren't bad kids for sure. We did some stupid things.
Yeah.
Just
Oh,
maybe
wow.
not like, oh, maybe we shouldn't have done that. But
So would you say that's the dumbest thing that got you in the most trouble?
Probably. Unintentionally.
no, we stole.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I stole. I had a stealing phase, and I stole from Walmart, and it's very easily to get caught there because they have people that just
Right.
walk around as normal dressed people that are undercover.
Yeah,
And I
'cause
I tried to steal a movie because it went from Fruit Gushers to a movie
So
because we used to eat.
Was
Fruit
this on a
Gushers.
dare?
No, we
No.
were just bad kids at the time.
Okay.
You know.
I mean, because
And try to
it
steal
started
them?
with like just we'd occasionally like pop open a box of Fruit Gushers. You could just like eat some,
Yeah.
and then
We had
like
a
some
phase.
movies. And we tried. It was Joyce and me, and we were walking out, and your older brother Max,
Mhm.
and we were just about to walk out Walmart, and these 2 adults just like walked up and just normal dress just like stopped us, and they're like, "Yeah, you need to come with us." And they brought us into like this side room. They're like undercover security.
Yeah, their asset protection.
Yeah.
exactly.
And I remember we had to call our parents and explain what's going on. They were upset about that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they were big upset.
Yeah.
We got grounded for that.
Mhm.
But I will say I never stole again.
Correct.
So
There you go.
Hey, you learn, man.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like it's probably good that happened to us because like we were young still and it was like
Yeah.
a minor thing. Yes, it was bad, but it's a funny story, I guess.
Good life lesson.
Yeah, I'm learning that my kids, like, it is funny because you only know from your perspective like who you are, right? So I just think I'm me, whatever, and my kids are just like realizing, yeah, how mischievous I was as a kid. And so I think we just were telling them a story. So my son is 12; he's in 7th grade, and when I was his age, I took my mom's car. And
Oh,
I
boy.
actually,
Joyride.
so I knew
How old were you at the time?
I was 12.
12.
Yeah. So my mom knows all this now. So if you forgot, mom, sorry. I turned on like the way the house was organized, like our washroom was right by the garage. So, and I, play basketball, do whatever. So I turned on the dryer, and so you couldn't hear the garage opening.
Sneaky.
And then I would put the car in neutral. I cannot believe I did this. Put the car in neutral and just push it out of the garage.
That's what I would do.
Push it out of the garage. And then I don't even know how I did this. You had to back it out, but then I didn't want to start it in front of our house, but we had like a side by side, so like we shared a driveway.
Yeah.
So I would push it back to our neighbor's house, and then I would start it there. So like it sounded like their
The
car
neighbors.
was. Yeah.
Right.
Smart.
And then I would go pick up my friend who lived like a mile, 2 miles away. And I just remember
12 years old.
12 years old, dude.
That is awesome.
And I just remember being actually the most scared, not about driving, but about like trying to get to his room without being seen. Because it was one of those houses where like the first floor is ground level, but then like the ground drops behind the house, and then like their basement is below ground but exposed on the backside of the hill, and that's where his room was. So you had to walk around the house to the back, like so you're seeing through the front to get back there. And then dude, we were really mischievous. Like I would throw a rock, like in like one rock meant like come, two rocks meant like don't come, because he'd be waiting for me to get there.
That's funny.
And then he'd get in, and we would just go all sorts of places. And we got pulled over actually by where Crossway North Shore is. The police pulled us over because I was speeding.
They're always there.
Oh my gosh.
Oh boy.
Yeah, dude, my parents were so upset. So upset.
So I would do, when I was in high school, I had my first car was a Ford Focus, and this thing was loud. Like it had an aftermarket exhaust.
Yeah, buddy, I remember that.
So you
thing.
could like, you could hear it entering into the neighborhood. So my younger sister and I, shout out Sarah, we never like did anything bad, but we'd like sneak out to go grab food or something. Or she'd ask like, can we pick up my friend and like, we'll come back to our place. So I'd like literally put in neutral, and I'd have to like push it out of like a couple blocks. Like I'd push it a couple blocks and then start it up because it was so loud.
Yeah.
But I think my parents still knew.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure they did.
I think they
They
did.
just see
I think
you
they
just
did.
pushing.
But yeah.
I got stopped by the cops for walking, like not on, like basically jaywalking. I got stopped by the cops, and they threatened to call my parents and have my parents come pick me up
For jaywalking?
for literally. And it was, so Speedway in Germantown, like
Yeah.
where that is. I wasn't walking in the crosswalk like at the light.
Off of County Line?
Yeah, I was walking from like the other parking lot across the street into basically across the speedway, and he goes, "You didn't cross at the crosswalk. I could give you a ticket for this, blah blah blah," and all this stuff. I'm like, dude,
And I could not care.
I'm just walking home from school. Like, I don't care.
Dang.
It's
Like,
tough growing up in GT. When I was
I was like, this is so stupid. This is what you're wasting your time with right now. Like,
What about the time you had your skateboard right by
no.
Crossway with the baseball?
Oh Lord.
I think I know this.
Dude, we were
Yeah.
we were just having a normal day. We were walking literally right by on the sidewalk right past Crossway.
Yeah.
Like right by the entrance. And at the time Joyce would like skate. I think we were on our bike. No, we were just walking. You were skating. And someone found a baseball. And someone just like kind of like bounced it a little bit. Like just kind of threw it on the ground to bounce it. And Joyce just took a
on the
skateboard on the sidewalk, and he just hits it.
Hit a home run.
Yeah.
And this thing,
home run
this
for
thing
sure.
launches, and it like bounces off the street, and here comes a car and just smashes the headlight, and it just screeches to a stop.
Did you guys run?
And we just
Oh,
we
yeah.
freeze. We
ran
freeze,
towards the
and we
church,
look
didn't
at
we?
each other, and we just book it.
Like, dude, I'm not getting in trouble for this. I'm running.
we were gone so fast, like, because we didn't. It was definitely not trying to happen. Like, we did not mean to do it. We're like, what do we do? Like, we can't pay for this.
That was probably shortly before the whole Walmart, so the timeline lines up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dude, we're just developmentally slow. We're stupid.
Yeah.
We did. Oh man. Yeah. We used to, like, there was this weird time where, so my parents were divorced. I went to school in Mequon, Thiensville, but sometimes I would live with my dad. And when I was in Mequon, there weren't really places to play basketball. Like the Y, there was the Y on the Right Height Y or whatever it is now. It was the Schrader Y. But they didn't have like open basketball. And I didn't even have a Y membership, but we had friends that would bring a guest pass. But there was no place to play basketball. So our friends and I would go and play basketball in other people's, like, you know, where they have, like hoops in their driveway or whatever.
Just show up.
So we would like ride our bikes or
funny.
like when our friends had cars, and we would park like you know, a couple blocks away or something, and then we just walk, and then we just start playing basketball. Well, we'd ring the doorbell to see if they're home. And if they weren't home, we'd just start playing basketball. Then people would be coming. They'd like come home. And
Yeah,
there'd be
imagine
like,
that. What do you do?
there'd be like 10 black guys like playing basketball.
What is going on?
And then we just take off running. And
They're onto us.
and then we would like go to subdivisions that had like full court basketball
Yeah.
courts. But I think word was like getting out that we were doing it, because I
Yeah.
remember one time. It's actually, I don't think I knew that my wife lived there at the time, but she lived in this subdivision. And we went to play basketball in that subdivision, and somebody called the police on us that we were playing basketball
Wow.
in the subdivision.
I mean, at least it's not like the worst thing. I mean, it's not the smartest,
Yeah.
the best thing, but like,
Yeah.
if you're just, you know, innocently playing basketball, like,
Yeah,
but,
I mean, we did
shouldn't
worse.
be. Oh.
We like broke into the high school one time. Just
oh, there you go. Let's get into what happened with that.
we actually, I don't even know if we got caught for that. Or actually, our coach caught us. Like, this was when we were in high school, and we didn't know there was a camera like in there.
You broke into play basketball?
Yeah, like, so like you know, we'd have practice, we do whatever. They'd have open gyms, whatever. But you know, like the coaches on the off season can't like
Coach you,
They
yeah.
can't coach you. They can't do anything. And we just want to play indoors because like it'd be raining or whatever. And at the time, Homestead, I think it's still set up like this. There was the main gym, and then down the hallway was like a small gym. And you could kind of like in the small gym, it had those like glass doors, but it has like the metal frame.
Yeah.
And you could just kind of like pop it a little bit. And so, and it was like the old school lights where, like gym lights where, I don't know how to describe it, but you could like put a paper clip in like it was almost like this little slit on the wall,
Yeah.
and you had to like stick. It was a key that you would use, but you could put anything in there and you just
I think I know
pop
what
it
you're
up,
talking
about.
and then the lights like take 10 minutes literally to like warm up. And so we would go in there. We would only turn on the lights on the far side of the gym, not by the doors.
Oh, sure.
Like
Sneaky,
so if
sneaky,
you look
smart.
down, you could tell, but it didn't look. Yeah. And then I don't think we ever got caught until one day our coach came and he's like, "You guys have been coming here to play basketball, haven't you?" Nope. And he's like, "Yeah, we have video. You guys like pop it." He's like, "Don't ever do that again."
Oh, that's funny.
Nice. Well, we're just about at 50 minutes, unless you guys got anything else.
Wow.
We had some. Those are some funny stories.
Yeah,
that was
that's
some.
Little confessions. I love it.
Yep. Yeah, everyone, thank you for tuning in. Marcus, thank you again for being here for the second episode, the 0.5.
For sure.
Once again, please show us some love. Click that subscribe button. Share with someone new. Tell us about the podcast. We appreciate all your support. And off of that, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. This is the Campfire Council Podcast.